Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make some artisan bread. It is really quick, really easy. I am actually going to be making it in a Dutch oven in the oven instead of like a bread maker or just a regular loaf pan. It's really quick, easy, simple. Let's go. Okay guys, so today we have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, or you can use bread flour, whichever makes it easier. I am going to be using, this is going to be, you can use 1 package of instant yeast or 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. Now I do like to use this one, the fast rise yeast. You can use it for a bread. This one is great because you don't have to mix it with hot warm water and the sugar to activate it. You just put it in with the flour. Now before I do put the sugar in there, I do kind of mix it up because they do kind of recommend that you don't have it come in direct contact with the sugar. So the sugar is actually going to be 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to put just a little bit of salt because it's going to have some Parmesan cheese in there, which is going to have a little bit of salt factor to it. And then we are also going to put in, this here is going to be, a teaspoon of rosemary. You can get fresh rosemary and just finely chop it, but I'm just using dry. And then of course I have 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. You can use the grated Parmesan or you can use fresh Parmesan, whichever you choose. I'm just using that because that's what I have. I'll mix it up just a little bit. And then, I'm sorry, I am a messy cook. So if I get it all over my counter, I apologize. And I know I could use a bigger bowl, but I don't really like bring out the really big bowl unless I have to. Plus, I like this one because when I have it rest, it goes right back into this bowl. Alright, now we're going to do 1 1/2 cups of warm water. It is preferable to be about 120 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. You can do one of those quick read thermometers to see. I've been doing it for so long, I just know how warm to make it. Then you're just going to start mixing it together, bringing it just together where you have no mess. And I like this bread because it's nice, it's crusty. It's actually kind of quick for regular bread because you don't have to sit there and wait for the yeast to activate, and you don't have to cook. I don't know, it doesn't take as long, because even in the bread maker it takes about 2 hours to make bread, and I want you to get to a certain point. Sorry guys, I just go ahead and start using my hands. Just put a little flour on my hand to help make it easy. It just goes easier. I start out with a spoon, but then I just mix it with my hands. Get it till it comes together in a nice ball. And again, my family likes this. Said it's nice, it's crusty, it's a nice round one. The nice thing about bread is you can add all kinds of ingredients. Like I make a regular Italian herb bread, and I put oregano and thyme and basil and parsley, garlic, and all that into it when I make it. And it's one of my family's favorites. This is just about together. It's like I said, it does like to get messy. I don't mind getting messy. And I promise, I always wash my hands before I start cooking. Alright, just about where it's mixed. Set these out of the way a little bit. Wash my hands. Flour the countertop a little bit. Not to be too floury, but just going to turn this out onto still had some in there, so I could have mixed up a little bit more. Now we're just going to knead it. It's going to come together. Come together, making this dough. Don't need a rolling pin, all you need is just your hands. Fold it over, down, fold it over, push it over, fold it over. See how it's starting to get nice and come together, and it's actually kind of rising a little bit. You can just do this for a few minutes. I know they always say you recommend like 5-6 minutes. Just make sure you're turning it. It's going to start getting, you're going to start seeing the nice little shine looking to it. You just want to make sure it's good. Like I said, it's a very hearty. Doesn't have to ever be perfect. Don't ever think. Just don't think in general that food has to be perfect. We all can't be Gordon Ramsay. We all can't be Bobby Flay. Eating this beautiful food. For the ones that can, I do envy you guys sometimes. All right. See how it's starting to come together? It's going to start getting a little sticky because the flour is really mixed in there. It's a good arm workout. I think we're about where we want it to be. A little extra flour up in there. So I'm like making a cake and cupcakes and stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of baking has a science behind it and reasonings for everything. It doesn't have to. Alright, start getting into a ball. Just kind of fold it into itself, to a ball. Start pulling the ends together. Seals. We're going to put it back into the bowl. Put it back into the bowl. Just take a little bit of olive oil. Just brush the olive oil on it. All over it. And we're going to let it sit for about 1 to 2 hours. It's going to double in size. Be a little generous with your olive oil. And if you're cooking, try to get a good olive oil. Sometimes the little cheap brands just don't do as well. Okay, so we got it in the bowl. We're going to cover it. I just cover it with a dish towel. I'm going to set it aside so we're not cold, a little warm, and set it aside for a little bit. Come back and see me. Thanks. Okay, everybody, we have been letting this sit for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. You can do it up between 1 hour to 2 hours, depending. It's already, it's about doubled in size, so it's where I want it to be. Alright, nice ball. I am going to take a little bit of flour. This on into the flour surface, and now we're going to do the whole fold onto each other again a couple times, not as much as we did before. We're not trying to completely knead it again. We're just going to fold it a couple times and then start shaping it into a ball. So you kind of fold it down, kind of make it look like a top of a jellyfish head. Start pulling it in, and you're going to start pinching this together. start pinching this, we're going to have a nice ball. Nice, beautiful ball. So just kind of pinch the seams. All right. Now we got to put it back in one more time. Get this out of the way. But this time, before we actually completely put it in, I gotta get this out of here. You need a piece of parchment paper. Make sure it's a good size because it's gonna have to fit into your Dutch oven. Put that on there. Again. So now we're gonna have this parchment paper sitting on there, and we're gonna do another rise again, okay? About another hour. Let's say about another hour to 2 hours. Wanted to double again, but so about another hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. You'll know when you see it. All right, we'll see you guys in an hour to 2 hours. Okay, one thing I did forget to mention, when I mentioned it now, the last half hour of proofing, you want to put your Dutch oven into the oven while it preheats to 450. Keep it in there for 30 minutes. That is part of the key of having this bread. Now, mine's been in the oven for the past 30 minutes. This has been proofing for about 2 hours now. Say we want it to double in size. It has definitely doubled in size. Beautiful. And now it's the fun time. Now what we gotta do is, hold on, let me just pause you because I gotta get my, well, I may not pause. Pause you while I get my dish oven out, okay? Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take the parchment paper, take it, put it right on into the Dutch oven. And I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil again. So be generous with your olive oil. Because you want a nice crusty bread. Because it's going to be an artisan. You want it nice and crusty. That's pretty good. Now I like to take my knife and I like to cut an X in the dough before I put on the last little bit of herbs, just because in case it goes into the dough a little bit when it splits. And we got about, this is about a teaspoon of each of rosemary and Parmesan. We'll sprinkle on. And go it all over. And if you want to add a little bit more, it's to your heart's content. I mean, honestly, if you don't feel like it's enough cheese, sprinkle a little more. I said be generous with your olive oil because that helps keeps it to it. Important lid onto your Dutch oven. It's going to go in the oven for 30 minutes covered, okay? In 30 minutes, we'll come back and uncover it for the last 15 so it gets nice and golden brown. All right, so put this in the oven. And put those down. Timer. 30 minutes. Start. Alright. I'll see you guys back here in 30 minutes. Alright, and then we'll get ready, almost done with the bread. Guys, the time is up. Taking it out of the oven. Dutch oven's very hot. I'm going to take the lid off. Set it back here. Oven mitt so you can see how beautiful this is right now. That's it right now. Now, to finish getting nice and golden, we're going to put it in for about between 5 and 10 minutes. So I'll meet you back in about 5-10 minutes. So now we've baked it in the oven for 30 minutes at 450 covered. Now we've taken it out and we've uncovered for 8 minutes. So here's the final reveal. A little, because this is just beautiful. Look how beautiful that is. Take it out. Alrighty. I'm going to leave it on the cooling rack for about 15-20 minutes, just so that you can, it'll cool down. I mean, this is nice. It is a gorgeous color. It's got the cheese and the rosemary on top. Sorry, it's hard to hear the knocking when it's on a sheet, but nice. Beautiful. Alright, put this back on here so that it cools off well. And that's it. That's all you taste to make some nice, gorgeous artisan bread. It doesn't take that long. Yeah, it takes a couple hours for the proofing. 2 hours for the proofing and about 40 minutes of cooking time. But easy peasy. Cook it in the oven. Get your Dutch oven. I love this one here. This is the Lodge. Paper Chef also has a gorgeous one that does very great. That's all it takes to make artisan bread. Thanks, guys. Bye.